In this video, we'll discuss how to trigger a Rudderstack sync after a DBT Cloud run. Let's dive in. So we're going to dive right in the Shipyard for this one, and we're going to search for our DBT Cloud blueprints. And you can see that we have a blueprint called Execute Job. I'm going to click that, and it's going to create the vessel for us in the Fleet Builder over here, as well as pop up the ability for you to click on our authorization guide, which will help you walk through what you need to do for your first time using DBT Cloud and Shipyard. I'm going to close that for right now, pull that vessel up, and then name this Execute DBT Cloud Job. And then for DBT Cloud, we need our service token. I'm going to copy and paste that in here. And then for our account ID and job ID, I can go to the URL of a job inside of DBT, and the account ID is going to be right next to accounts in the URL. So I'm going to paste that in. And then the job ID is going to be right after jobs in the URL. So I can copy and paste that in as well. So it looks like this one's good to go. So now that first vessel is going to kick off the job in DBT. So now we need to create a vessel that's going to check the run status of that particular run. So check run status. So again, I'm going to need that service token from before and the same account ID. And I can connect these together. Whenever I connect these together, I don't need the run ID because it's going to grab it from that upstream vessel there. So this is a complete DBT Cloud process where it's going to start the job in the first vessel and then check for when it finishes in the second vessel. We need to set up guardrails here for this one. So we're going to up the number of retries here, and the time between retries will just be as soon as possible. So what that's going to do is it's going to go to DBT Cloud for the first time, check to see if it's finished. If it's not, it's going to error out and then wait just a moment and then restart again and go back and check to see if the run is complete at that point. So that looks like it's good and set up there. So now we need to add our Rudderstack vessel in. So we can trigger the trigger sync blueprint in Rudderstack. So I'm going to name this trigger Rudderstack sync there. We need our access token from Rudderstack, so I can paste that in, and then our source ID from Rudderstack as well for one of our sources. So there we go. Can connect those together. So now it looks like we have a full fleet run here where we're going to execute our DBT Cloud job. Whenever that's successful, we're going to check to see when it's finished. Whenever it is completed successfully, then we'll trigger our Rudderstack sync. So let's name our fleet. So we'll do DBT Cloud to Rudderstack. Okay, so now we can click Save and Finish on the bottom right-hand corner of our screen. So this is going to take us to a page telling us that the fleet has been created successfully here, as you see. So then we can click Run Your Fleet. So that's going to schedule our fleet to run immediately. Inside of Shipyard, we call this an on-demand run. So if you see that anywhere in the documentation, that's what we're referring to. Anytime that you're working with a fleet, no matter what tab you're on inside of our fleet section here, you can click Run Now on the top right-hand corner and this purple button. That's going to kick off an on-demand run for you in the current state of that fleet. There's also two other ways that you can start a fleet run using our triggers tab here. We have a scheduling trigger that you can schedule fleet runs based on time. We also have an API trigger where you can programmatically kick off these fleet runs as well. Anytime that you start an on-demand run, or anytime that you manually click into a scheduled run or a triggered run, you can look at the fleet log, which is a live view of what's happening in this fleet run vessel by vessel. You can see in our fleet log currently the Execute DBT Cloud job has already started and completed, so our DBT Cloud job is currently running. So I can click into that Gantt chart, and it's going to show you the inputs that we put in, as well as the API key being protected as a password there. And you can see that we kicked off job 24990 on that account that we put in earlier. So that's good that it's kicked off. You can see that our check run status was red there for a second because it went to DBT Cloud and checked to see whether it was finished. DBT Cloud said not yet, so it sent back a failure for that one. So then we're retrying again here. And you can see now it's turned green, so now that run is in DBT Cloud is complete. So now we're going to go to Rudderstack and start that sync up. You can see it's yellow and it's calling that API currently. You can see that just turned green as well. I can click into that, and you can see that trigger sync for that source was successful. So in this video, we discussed how you can start a DBT Cloud job, and the moment that it finishes, you can start a Rudderstack sync. If you have any questions about this solution or how you can use Shipyard in your organization, use the link in the description to set up a time to chat with our team of data experts. If you want to see more tutorials like this one, check out these related videos.